If you're given the once-in-a-lifetime chance to join a game show, how far would you actually go to outwit, outplay, and outlast the competition? And if you're the game master, how far are you willing to bend the rules for contestants who make just the teeniest, tiniest mistake?
That is not right.
Before we start any Family Feud, let's find the weakest link among these 11 worst game show scandals. What's up, Acnatics? This is Discovery Amuse, serving up your daily dose of the most outrageous, outlandish, and out-of-this-world fun facts. Stay tuned till our number one pick, because he's one of the biggest game show winners of all time. But whether he actually deserved to win big is a whole other story. Let's spin that wheel!
You landed on Cash Flood! I'm giving none of this to charity!
Number 11, the one that got away. The Moment of Truth was a short-lived American game show that's main goal was to ruin families, friendships, and marriages because, hello, that makes for great TV. Imagine being hooked up on a lie detector machine and having to answer some deeply personal questions in front of your family and friends. Be 100% completely honest and you go home with $500 grand in exchange for every single ounce of your dignity. Deep, dark secrets are the bread and butter of this game show, and luckily, contestant Lauren Clary has plenty of them.
Since you've been married, have you ever pretended to be asleep in order to avoid having sex with your husband, Frank?
Pretended to be asleep, pretended to have a headache, so yes.
Do you believe you might have been in love with a former boyfriend on your wedding day?
Yes, I believe I was.
Wow, these questions really go for the jugular. And of course, the $100,000 question comes from none other than the ex-boyfriend.
Do you believe I'm the man you should be married to?
I want to be honest and say yes.
Wow, she really did spill the tea right in front of her husband. Where can you find reruns of this show? Asking for a friend. Our top pick managed to crack the code on a classic game show, but was he actually a genius or a cheat? You be the judge. Number 10. What's the tea? Let's see if you can answer this question from a 2013 episode of Kids Jeopardy! I think I skipped history class that day when it was discussed.
Mr. Hand, will I pass this class? Gee, Mr. Spicoli, I don't know.
But not 8th grader Thomas Hurley III. He knew exactly what the answer was. Show it to them, kiddo!
Because he misspelled it badly. Emancipation. You put a P in there. Proclamation. That's unfortunate. The judges are ruling against you.
But when did Jeopardy become a spelling bee? Shucks. Just look at the poor boy's face at the end of the show. No wonder this incident has been dubbed the saddest moment in Jeopardy history. However, despite the backlash the incident received, the production team stood by its decision. And regardless, Alex Trebek will forever be the best game show host in my book. Rest in power, Mr. Trebek. Number 9. Mispronounced. In 2012, Wheel of Fortune contestant Renee Durrett was on the brink of bringing home the bacon after guessing the Christmas-themed puzzle on the board correctly.
7 swans a-swimmin'.
But host Pat Sajak wasn't quite ready to declare her the winner just yet.
Yeah, that's not... Yeah.
And it's all because of how Renee pronounces swimming that caused the Navy officer almost $4 grand. Twitter didn't take the incident lightly, and fans accused the show of being discriminatory towards Southerners and their accent.
Regionally, everybody has a little bit of their own. You know, someone from New England is definitely going to have a different type of speech than I do.
But surprisingly, Durrett herself was pretty chill about the whole thing. And she was #Team Sajak.
You could tell in his face that he felt bad, but, you know, it wasn't his decision. It was, the judges, and that's fine.
Perhaps it's the fact that she still walked away with $8,200 that cushioned the blow. Still, justice for Renee! Number 8. You're fired. In this day and age, it's amazing how women are still used as eye candy in some game shows. Perhaps sex will always sell no matter how #woke the world claims to be. But being a woman isn't just about showing some skin, people. Since 2002, Brandy Cochran had served as a game show model for The Price is Right. But in 2008, she claimed to be unjustly axed from the show after getting pregnant and suffering a miscarriage.
My fear was losing my job if I got pregnant, and that's ultimately what happened.
She claimed she also received a lot of hurtful comments while she was pregnant, and her baby bump was starting to show.
I was told I was breaking the set because I was packing a lot of extra weight and things.
However, the production company said that her dismissal was not due to her condition, but because they needed models more suitable for new host Drew Carey's impromptu style. In 2010, Cochran filed a lawsuit against the show's producer. She won the case in 2012 and was supposed to collect $7.7 million in damages, but in 2013, the decision was overturned. Number 7, the body language expert. When contestants don't know the answers to the game show questions, most of them would take an educated guess, but not this one. He has a different strategy altogether. In 2014, law student Khaled El Katateni appeared in the Australian version of Millionaire Hot Seat, and while he seemed to be struggling all throughout the game, and despite claiming to not know all the right answers,
I have no idea. And if you want to know my thought process, it was like, I haven't done D in a while, so I'll choose it.
The dude still ended up winning $100 grand. So, what's his secret? Khaled revealed later on that he read the body language and facial expressions of host Eddie McGuire. Well, technically he didn't cheat, so the show let him keep his prize. Number 6, most wanted contestant. Now, let's take a trip down memory lane and reminisce about the time when a certain Patrick Quinn became the largest one-game winner in the history of the classic game show called Super Password. But mind you, that's not the only reason for his 15 minutes of fame. As Patrick was about to pick up his check on January of 1988, days after winning on the show, instead of the prize money, he was awarded with handcuffs on his wrists. It turns out that Patrick Quinn was a fake name, and he was immediately identified as Carey D. Ketchum, a fugitive wanted in 3 states for fraud cases. This includes faking his wife's death to collect a $100,000 insurance policy. As to why a criminal hiding from authorities would decide to expose himself on national TV is anybody's guess. Perhaps he was hoping to win some bail money. Number 5, flip-flop fail. There's only one golden rule in any game show. Follow the damn rules! Hosts go through the boring motions of explaining the mechanics as if they're talking to a 3-year-old so that the contestant understands clearly.
You may flip, you may flop, or you may flip-flop.
But this Price is Right contestant named Breton was too laser-focused on the prize to listen carefully to host Bob Barker. But what's the prize at stake anyway? This brand new digital piano! Wait, what? That's what a digital piano looked like back in the day? Anywho, so our boy Breton stepped up to the plate to play flip-flop, but what he does next proved to be a bigger flop than the game itself.
No!
That wasn't in the instruction, bruh. I don't blame Bob for walking out at all, but being the generous soul that he is, he still awarded the prize to not-so-bright Breton in the end because, you know, he might not have a brain, but at least he has a digital piano. Number 4, 1 in a million. That's probably the odds of guessing the exact amount in the game show The Price is Right. And that 1 in a million moment happened in September of 2008 when contestant Terry Neese tried to guess the price of the entire showcase, which included a new karaoke system, a pool table, and a brand new trailer. Models not included, of course. Terry's winning bid?
$23,743.
$23,743. Wow.
And when host Drew Carey finally revealed the correct answer...
Actual retail price, $23,743. You got it right on the nose.
Apparently, Terry and his wife Linda had studied the show for months. He used his knowledge to estimate the 23 grand. For the last 3 digits, he used his wedding date, April 7, and his wife's birth month of March, resulting in the number 743. And that's the 411 on his incredible stroke of luck. Number 3, wronging a right. What happens when the contestant proves to be smarter than the game show runners? Let's find out. During an episode of $1 Million Money Drop in 2010, husband and wife Gabe Okoye and Brittany Mai were asked,
Which of these was sold in stores first?
Post-it notes or Walkman, and I don't think computer.
After a lot of back and forth that almost ruined the couple's relationship.
I think it's Walkman. I think it's Walkman.
It was time to reveal the answer. Cue ridiculously loud suspense music. The mistake cost them a cool 800 grand, but wait, did they really choose the wrong answer? Some web sleuths did some digging, and through the power of Google, they learned that Post-its were test marketed by 3M in 1977, 2 years before the Walkman went on sale in Japan. However, producers of the show stood by their decision, claiming that 3M itself confirmed that Post-it notes were only given out for free in 1977 and were not sold until 1980. Because of the confusion, the showrunners invited the couple back for a do-over. But unfortunately, the show got canceled even before the couple got a second chance. Number 2, a sick move. These days, it's hard to imagine a coughing fit in a public place not triggering a major panic attack, but pre-pandemic, a little cough here and there never bothered anyone around you. It sure didn't bother audience members back in April 2003 when former British Army Major Charles Ingram was in the hot seat of UK's Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. For some strange reason, his wife Diana and another contestant named Tequin Whittock sounded like they were under the weather in the middle of the game. I say sounded because just listen to all the coughing.
I think if I had to guess, and I can, I think I'd take cricket. I'm sure it's a hat. Am I sure?
Strangely enough, Charles would lock in an answer after the coughing. During one of the questions, his wife Diana was even caught on cam doing the deed, which led to Charles suddenly changing his answer at the 11th hour.
I'm going to guess Craig David.
Final answer.
And when it was time for the £1 million question, Charles took his sweet time going through each of the choices.
I think it's a nanomole. It could be a gigabit. I don't think it's a Megatron. I don't think I've heard of a Google.
Whoops, there it is, and the coughing fit grew louder and louder as Charles makes a decision.
I'm sure it's Google.
When the correct answer was revealed,
He just won $1 million.
Charles went home £1 million richer, or so he thought. After the show, the production team was tipped off to a possible cheating incident. An investigation ensued, the tapes were played back, and it was confirmed that Charles, Diana, and Tequin were all involved in the £1 million deception. Before we go to our number 1 pick, do us a solid and make sure to smash the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. Don't forget to choose all so you won't miss out on any of our latest life-changing, boredom-busting content. And of course, be sure to turn on notifications in your app's settings. Number 1, gaming the system. On May 18, 1984, Michael Larson became famous when he won $110,237 in cold cash in the CBS game show Press Your Luck. That's the biggest single-day winnings in any game show at the time. The gameplay was simple. Answer a trivia question correctly and get a chance to hit the buzzer. The contestant wins whatever is on the illuminated box. For some odd reason, whenever Michael pushed his button, he ended up in a high-ticket square.
Stop at 1,200. Stop at 1,200. $4,000 on a spin.
But before you dismiss him as some wise-ass cheat, Charles actually found a way to game the system by studying the show for 6 months and recognizing some sequences by which the squares lit up. So all he needed to do was press the buzzer at the right time. That's why he celebrated just a fraction of a second before each spin ends.
$1,000. Stop at $750.
After investigations, the production team couldn't find any evidence of cheating, so they had no choice but give Larson his well-deserved prize pool. Unfortunately, Charles quickly lost the money to investment schemes and dubious business deals. I guess he's not the smartest kid on the block after all.
I'm smart, you're dumb. I'm big, you're little. I'm right, you're wrong.
So, which of these game show scandals shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments section below. Take home any of our exclusive gear by browsing our merch shelf or clicking the link in the video description, and while you're at it, take our quiz to find out how you can earn extra cash online doing what you do best. Awesome, right? Want to know more people who were too cunning for their own good? Then don't miss our roundup of the 10 fake beggars who were finally exposed. Till then, stay clever, Factnatics, and see you in the next video.